Smoothen Silky versus the WereCougar. Grindhouse Chronicles Book 4. Written by Derek Slayton. Narrated by Aaron Smith. 1. Night inside a 2-story dance club. It's Thursday night, and the dance floor is packed because it's the start of a 3-day weekend. The bass coming from the generic beat of overproduced techno music is so robust that it's shaking the walls of the building. Kerr casually walks through the upstairs area while nursing a cheap beer. He feels his phone vibrate. Upon inspection, it's a text from Rose that reads, Silky says, and I quote, "What you got, cracker?" Kerr sets his beer down on a table, containing a dozen mostly empty bottles to respond. "Tracking a pack of potentials. I'll be in touch." Kerr is honed in on a small group of frat boys huddling in the corner. 3 of them have ganged up on the 4th one, pimping him up by popping his collar and spraying him down with cologne, so strong Kerr can smell it halfway across the room. One of them is yelling in the young man's ear as if he's giving a pep talk. Kerr blindly reaches to retrieve his beer but only grasps air. For as busy as the club is, the staff is on the ball with keeping the tables cleaned. He shakes off his disappointment and watches the prowling frat boy make his way from the pack to the bar. Kerr doesn't have the greatest view of who the fratster targeted, but he gets glimpses. Her back is to Kerr, and she's sitting at the corner of the bar. He sees her hand holding an unlit cigarette with her hand that is adorned with 6-inch long, wildly painted nails. Her mid-length sleeved shirt has a delightfully tacky leopard print on it. Most of her is obscured by a throng of people attempting to wet their beak, but the crowd breaks just enough so that Kerr can see she has shoulder-length black hair that has been recently styled. The pursing frat boy appears to be nervous, but the woman gently touches his arm, which calms him. She pulls him close and whispers something in his ear, which results in a huge smile. The woman gets up from her seat, takes him by the hand, and they start to leave. Kerr is torn as his mission is to take out as many demons as he can, but he doesn't want to risk this poor woman being ripped apart. He quickly pulls a surveillance photo of a demon marked Ezra and compares it to the trio of potential demon douches still in the corner. They don't fit the bill, so he breaks off and pursues the momentarily happy couple. As he makes his way through the club, he texts Rose, "Got a live one." He can see the top of the woman's hair as it bounces through the crowd, leading the boy like he was a poodle at a dog show. The 2 of them step outside via the fire door that had been propped open for ventilation. 200 sweaty, gyrating 20-somethings generate a hell of a lot of heat, especially in Austin where the average temperature hovers around the boiling point, even at night. Kerr puts his back to the wall, beside the door, and casually slips on a pair of brass knuckles. He takes a deep breath before slipping out the door and into the alleyway. The humid night air smacks Kerr right in the face. He shakes it off and cautiously walks towards the dumpster that's 10 feet away. Kerr puts his hand up in an offensive position as he hears noise coming from behind it, and not the happy noises usually associated with a young couple getting it on in an alley. Kerr readies himself to attack. "All right, you demon-possessed prick, let go of that innocent young woman and get out here for an ass-beating." The noises cease, and there is an eerie silence that is broken only by the creaks of the old building struggling to maintain structural integrity from the onslaught of shitty techno bass. "Well, come on, let's do this." The dumpster rockets towards Kerr, who is forced to jump out of the way. He hugs the wall as it narrowly misses him, coming to rest against the fire exit and blocking anyone else from exiting. Kerr quickly turns to face his attacker, and is taken aback when he sees the frat boy laying on the ground, with a giant hole in his chest. The woman, who Kerr can now see is in her 40s, and clad in an all-leopard print outfit, is holding a heart in her hand. Her eyes glow yellow, and her teeth have turned into a mouth full of fangs. "What the fuck?" The woman takes a huge bite out of the heart and chews it, Kerr watches in amazement as blood runs down her face and onto the crushed velvet top. He shakes it off and regains his fighting stance. He bangs his brass knuckles together to get her attention. The woman responds with a scream and chucking the half-eaten heart at Kerr. Kerr ducks the partially devoured organ and is assaulted by the crazed woman. She is incredibly fast, with Kerr having to use every bit of his considerable skill to avoid her claw-like nails. He is able to swing back, but draws nothing but air as she easily dodges his blows. Tired of the dodging, Kerr ducks down before launching himself at her with his fists held forward like a battering ram. She leaps over him with a front flip, which is impressive given her stiletto heels. During her tumble, she reaches down and scratches the back of his neck with her claw. Kerr's momentum forces him to the ground. He lands and quickly rolls over, ready to continue the fight, but watches as she ascends to the top of the building by parkouring off the walls like a coked-up cat. As she vanishes into the night, he lays back on the ground and takes a breather. He lays there, trying to take in what he just witnessed when his phone vibrates. It's a message from Rose that reads, 148 9th Street, now. Well, looks like it's time for Kerr to go save the day. Kerr starts getting up when he pauses. Crap. That talking in the third person stuff is contagious. 2. Internal, old vacant office building. Night. Silky runs across the hardwood floor, dragging his 9-iron behind him like a samurai running into battle. His white fur jacket flowing gracefully behind him, giving the visual effect of an avalanche rolling towards its victims. A brave yet stupid demon runs towards Silky. As the two of them get close, Silky swings his weapon upwards, catching the demon in the armpit, severing his arm. The demon staggers for a moment and inspects the wound, which is spewing blood like an uncapped fire hydrant. As he falls to the ground, Silky spins and swings his club like a baseball bat, hitting the falling arm. The severed appendage flies towards the edge of the room, embedding into the drywall up to the elbow with the hand sticking out. Silky casually walks over to the extended arm, sets his club down against the wall and takes his jacket off, places it in the hand of the severed appendage, then punches the forearm to get the hand to close, keeping his jacket safe from the ground. Silky adjusts the sleeves of his all-white attire, which was pulled up when he took off the jacket. Silky would like to give his humble thanks to each and every one of you demonic cocksuckers for patiently waiting while Silky attends to his jacket. With all the moral outrage these days, it's becoming harder and harder for a pimp to find real fur, let alone fur as rare as this. Silky picks up his club and turns back towards the full room, which is filled with 10 demons who are ready for battle, but are looking at each other with confusion at Silky's actions. Now, Silky ain't gonna bore you with the details of how he acquired this magnificent work of tailored art, or which endangered species gets to live on in perpetuating thanks to the care Silky is providing this jacket. All Silky will say is this: if any of you motherfuckers come within 10 feet of Silky's glorious jacket, Silky is gonna bend you over and shove his 9-iron so far up your ass that you gonna feel like you on a date with Long Dong Silver. Silky steps up beside Rose, who has her face in her hands, like she can't believe what she is seeing. Really? The jacket speech again? What? Silky is proud of the work his tailor did. Do you have any idea what that magnificent bastard had to go through to acquire that fur? Yeah, I know. Australian outback. Wiped out an indigenous tribe who didn't take kindly to him killing their god, and lost a toe or some shit. That old honky lost his big toe. Now the man doesn't have the proper weight distribution to support that gigantic set of balls of his. Brings a tear to Silky's eye when he sees that 70-year-old mammoth of a man wobble across the shop to collect Silky's wares. Are you done? One day Silky is going to have to educate you on the finer things in life. Rose pulls out a knife from a sheath attached to the back of her flowing dress to go along with her customary metal baton. She uses the baton to point towards the dozen demons who are standing there, confused. You assholes want to fight now, or keep hearing about the jacket? The demons look back and forth at each other before turning to Rose and screaming. See, they're ready to go. Are you? Baby, Silky is always ready to go. Silky gets a big smile on his face, revealing his custom grill that reads Silky. A giant melee ensues. Rose sprints off towards a demon that comes right at her. She leaps in the air and catches him in the chest with a flying knee. She drives him into the ground, rolls off and throws her knife which lands directly in the chest of a demon, dropping him. She pounces to her feet, turns and caves the first demon's head in with 3 successive vicious blows. While the demon is still technically alive, he isn't going to be doing a whole lot. Rose stands up and is bear-hugged from behind by a demon who tries to bite down on her neck. She jabs the baton upwards with the tip going into the demon's mouth and embedding it in the back of its throat. The pain forces it to let go, and Rose drives the demon back. As she drives him back, she bends down, picks up the knife, and plants it in the demon's chest. Silky, meanwhile, runs right for a foursome of demons. 2 of the demons run forward side by side, and are caught off guard as Silky hits the button on his 9-iron to release the blades. The demons had just enough time to have a panicked look on their face, as their heads detached from their bodies from the force of Silky's mighty backhanded swing. Silky posed for a second as their bodies collapsed into a heap on the ground. Looks like it's yours turn. The 2 demons learned the lesson of their deceased comrades and flank Silky. So, y'all want to spit roast old Silky, do you? Sorry to disappoint you, but Silky ain't into threesomes. At least not with the likes of you ugly-ass motherfuckers. I tell you what, though, Silky will at least give you a fighting chance. Silky hits the button on his 9-iron, retracting the blade. As soon as that happens, the demon to the right lunges at Silky, and is met with the head of the 9-iron that has been rapidly extended out from Silky's hand. The force stuns the demon for a moment, giving Silky the opportunity to engage the other charging demon. Silky lands a series of body blows to his enemy, each impact giving off the satisfying crack of a rib. The demon is stunned. Hoo! Silky working them ribs. Got them crack-a-lackin'. The first demon has regained his footing and gets back in the action. Silky ducks the first blow and lands a blow of his own right into the demon's goodie bag. Before the demon hits the ground in pain, Silky thrusts his golf club up, spinning it just right so that the head of the club goes into the demon's mouth. Silky uses his newfound leverage to drive the demon back into the wall, its head slamming with a thud against it. The demon is dazed, but before Silky lays the kill shot, he hears the cracked ribs demon gaining ground. With impeccable timing and grace, Silky does a split that would have made James Brown proud. The demon completely whiffed on Silky with his flying punch, instead landing a direct shot to his partner. Silky sprung to his feet and used his club as a spear, hitting the blade release as it moved rapidly towards the back of the demon's head. Silky either underestimated his power or overestimated how durable the demon's skulls would be, because the blade went clear through the first one and embedded in the second one. Silky was impressed at his feat as he let go of the club and it stayed in place. Rose, you see this shit? Rose is doing battle with 2 demons. They are fighting shoulder to shoulder against her. Little busy right now. And you thought Silky needed to hit the gym. Shit, girl. Silky don't need to be doing free weights or any of that new age yoga and shit. Rose gets the upper hand by landing a direct shot to one of the demon's face with her baton, sending him tumbling back. The other demon made the mistake of showing concern for his friend, giving Rose the opportunity to plant the dagger in his heart. The demon on the ground, knowing that his time is nearly up, shakes his head no, and begs for his life. Rose ignores his pleas and stabs him. "Now, what do you want?" Silky is standing by his gruesome display of power, like a proud 5-year-old with his drawing on the fridge. Before Rose has the chance to respond, another demon comes running at her. She unleashes a volley of blows from her baton, constantly driving the demon back. After the 5th shot, the demon crumples to the ground, in the general vicinity of Silky's jacket. "Motherfucker!" Silky grabs his 9-iron and retracts the blade as the 2 demon bodies hit the floor. "What is it?" He better hope. Silky walks over towards him and tosses his 9-iron to the ground beside him. Silky kneels down, holding his head up so he can see the golf club. 10 feet. 10 motherfucking feet. Did you not listen to Silky? Silky laid it all out there for you. One rule. One simple goddamn rule. Do not get within 10 feet of Silky's jacket. That doesn't look like 10 feet, and besides, we need this asshole to talk. Don't worry. This asshole can still talk with Silky's club hitting from the rough. Jesus Christ, can we just call it 10.5 feet and move on to the interrogation? Silky gets up in a huff, walks over to his jacket and pulls out a tape measure. He hooks it to the baseboard and moves towards the demon. Silky's got standards. We ain't eyeballing this shit. The tape measure gets closer and closer, finally stopping at the demon's toe. 9 feet, 11 inches. Silky throws the tape measure down in disgust and grabs his 9-iron. Sorry, you cracker-ass demon, but I didn't bring no lube. The demon's eyes get really large from terror. Rose grabs him and drags him 2 inches forward. Silky stops and stares at Rose. What? You gonna help Silky pop this demon's cherry? No, I'm preventing you from doing that. For starters, just ew. Secondly, we need information from him, and I guarantee he's going to be a lot more willing to cooperate if he isn't feeling Mandigo's wrath. Third, and the most important point, we don't have a place to stay in town yet, and I'll be goddamned if I'm riding around in a car with something that smells like demon ass. Silky lets his guard down. Fine, do what you're gonna do. Silky's gonna go make sure his coat's okay. Rose pulls the demon's head up. Look, I've had a long day, so I'm gonna make this short. Answer my question quickly, and I end you quickly. Refuse, and I'm going to let my friend over there do whatever the fuck he wants with you, because I'm going to find a hotel with a nice bar. You with me so far? The demon nods in approval. Good. Have you seen this demon? She shows him a picture of Ezra on her phone. The demon nods in approval. He's in town. I don't know where exactly. Rose tightens her grip on the back of his head. I swear, he summoned me 2 nights ago. I didn't even want to come up to the surface. He just brought me here. Is he doing that a lot? Look around the room. We all came up in a single night. Rose nods, satisfied with the demon's answer. She pulls out her knife and plants it in his heart. The demon melts away. Silky comes back over. You have anything useful? Just that our boy Ezra is summoning demons at an alarming rate. Silky gonna put a stop to him, don't you worry. Both Silky and Rose get into a defensive position as the door flings open. Kerr comes running in, screaming, ready for battle. God damn it! Shut the fuck up, you dumbass honky. Rose and Silky done finished the job. Kerr drops his hands in disappointment. Damn, Silky. I'm sorry. I ran into some strange action. So you tellin' Silky you late because you had some action with a piece of strange? What? No, I had some action and it was strange. Well, first times can be like that. Kerr, defeated, starts the conversation again. I'm late because I got attacked by something I've never seen before. I was tracking the target as he hit on a woman at the bar. They went outside, and when I stepped in to take him out, she had ripped his heart out. God damn! That's why Silky never messes with Texas women. It gets weirder. Rose's phone begins to ring. The caller ID says Thorn. A female voice is on the other side of the conversation. I gotta take this. Walks off and dances. Thorn, everything okay?
Rose, how quickly can you get to Austin?
We're actually in town now. We caught a case.
Can you come by? If you're working a case here, then it confirms my suspicions. Something really bad is going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you give me a couple of hours?
Take your time. I have to drop off the rest of the band. We had a late practice for the gig on Saturday. Why don't you all come by about 6?
Okay, I'll see you then.
Thanks, Rose.
Rose hangs up the phone and walks back over to Silky and Kerr. As she gets close, she notices that Kerr has a scratch on the back of his neck. Yeah, man, she just climbed the walls like a methed up monkey. God damn! Silky need to hit that bar. Those drinks must be magic. Kerr, that looks like a pretty deep scratch there. Good to see you were toughing it out in the field. Don't mock. You would have had trouble with her too. Trust me, Kerr, I'm a lot better with women than you are. So, important call? You remember Thorn, don't you? Your old partner, Thorn? Wait, Rose and Thorn? Really? Silky smacks Kerr in the back of the head. Shut your mouth before Silky shuts it for you. Sorry. Yeah, Silky, my old partner Thorn. She's here in Austin and needs us to come by. Rose, we's working. We ain't got time for you to be having a booty call. Kerr has a shocked look at the potential revelation about Rose. To Kerr, shut the fuck up. To Silky, it's about our case. She noticed something out of the ordinary, and since we're here, she's convinced. All right. Silky likes the idea. Be good to work with that badass chick again. As they start to walk out, Kerr still has a shocked look on his face. So, was he just joking about the booty call? Rose smacks him in the back of the head as they walk. Nope. No, he was not. 3. External dawn. Outside of Thorn's house. Silky's giant white Cadillac stops short of the door. Silky, Rose, and Kerr get out and stretch. The house is an older one, and would be right at home in a 50s TV rerun, except for the punk band flags hanging in the window, and the faint sounds of metal music coming from the back of the structure. Kerr, bobbing his head to the beat. Sounds like Dead Under 3 strippers. That yo dream death, is it, cracker? Isn't it every man's? With your income, you might want to reconsider, given the quality of stripper you can afford. Kerr begrudgingly agrees with Rose's assessment. Thorn walking out of front door. Agency still underpaying y'all, huh? Thorn is a tall, statuesque black woman covered in tattoos and has a perfect mid-sized tight afro. She looks like the offspring of Pam Grier and Tommy Lee. Thorn! Rose runs over to Thorn and gives her a hug. Kerr gets a creepy grin on his face. Silky smacks him on the back of the head. Sorry. Damn, Rose. It's good to see you, girl. You still kicking ass? Just as much as you remember. You? I've been out of the game for a while now, focusing mostly on my metal band, Queen of the Demon Blade. Although I do have to throw down in the pit from time to time. Queen of the Demon Blade? I thought you ceded that title to me when you left the agency. Girl, you wish. Silky walks over to the two ladies. Ladies! Silky hates to break this up, but we's got work to do. Thorn rears back and punches Silky with a vicious right hook. Silky takes the punch in stride but stops talking. Rose doesn't really react, while Kerr looks like he just saw the Pope paying for a private dance in the champagne room. Silky's going to assume you still holding a grudge for the rigorous training style Silky insisted upon. Bitch, you sat on your ass while I took on a dozen demon motherfuckers. Yous kicked their asses, didn't you? No thanks to your dumb ass. Come on now. Silky shouted encouragement. Yeah, like a fluffer cheering on a Nebraska farm girl who thought L.A. sounded like fun but ended up in the middle of a demon gangbang. That's a vivid visual. Bitch, ain't nobody talking to your cracker ass. Kerr recoils and realizes he should be seen and not heard. All right, girl. In the spirit of collaboration and shit, Silky would like to offer his formal apology. Thorn still is amped up, but Rose reaches over and takes her hand, calming her. Not ready to forgive your ass yet, but there are things we need to address. Why don't you all come inside? Silky struts in, and as Kerr takes a step towards the door, Thorn jumps at him like she's going to throw a punch. He flinches pretty hard. Thorn starts to laugh. Rose, when the hell did the agency start investing in jumpy white boys? Kerr's not so bad. Most of the time. Kerr smiles sheepishly. Thorn tussles his hair before shoving him towards the door. All right, go on in. Rose slinks by. Thorn to Rose. It really is good to see you. You have no idea. 4. Internal morning. Thorn's house. The living room was what you'd expect from an indie metal band. Cinder blocks and plywood acting as a makeshift coffee table. 80s metal band posters hanging where family portraits would normally reside. And an older bearded white man in a jean jacket with patches and no sleeves laying unconscious on the couch. Silky and Kerr are standing over the man, just staring at him. Silky is always amazed at how you honkies can just pass the fuck out anywhere y'all like. Rose and Thorn walk in. That's Abe. Don't mind him. Just give him a good poke and he'll move. Silky to Kerr. You's been whining how lonely you been. Now's your chance to get a poke. I said good poke. Sister's got a point. Silky kicks the couch and Abe sits up. Abe, go crash in the back. My friends and I have some shit to take care of. Abe groans, grabs a beer can, and turns it up only to find it empty. Throws it down, grabs another one, shakes it, and smiles a partially toothless grin when he can hear liquid swishing around inside. He wanders off. He seems classy. Yeah, old Abe is a bit rough, but he's a hell of a roadie and works for cheap beer. Silky and Kerr take a seat as Rose joins them. Thorn pulls up a chair and sits across from them. So, girl, what you got for us? We's on a case, and Rose said you could help? Well, my band has a regular Saturday night gig at Concussion. Concussion? You got 2 left. 2 what? Interruptions. Now, Concussion is one of the local metal bars. We have about 50 regulars that come out for every show. Over the last few weeks, I've noticed some of my most dedicated fans have gone missing. Bitch, don't be modest. You missing your groupies, ain't you? Thorn seethes at Silky. Yeah, these guys wanted some badass brown sugar. Like any good front woman, I provided them the illusion they had a chance with me, and it kept them front and center every show. Then poof, they vanished. Silky stands up from the couch. You drug us all the way over here because you lost some cock you didn't even want? We's dealing with some serious shit, and ain't got time for this. Thorn stands up and blocks Silky's path. I will lay you the fuck out and have Abe cuddle with your black ass until you wake up. Silky sits back down. Perhaps Silky acted rashly. Why don't you finish your story? As I was saying, I lost my 3, groupies. Over the course of the next couple of shows, our crowd thinned out as well. Last week, we only had 22 people at our show, which is unheard of for us. Abe noticed we did gain a new hardcore fan that showed up right as the disappearances began. Here, I got a picture. She pulls up a photo on her phone and hands it to Rose. Motherfucker! She shows it to Silky and Kerr. The photo is of Ezra. So you know this asshole? Yeah, his name is Ezra, some lower-level shit-heeled demon that leveled up to being a summoner. Christ, that's all we need. How powerful is he? We got word a couple weeks ago that newbie demon summoning was happening at a higher-than-normal rate, which is when we were dispatched. So nothing more powerful? No gateway demons? Zombie ogres? If he has, the agency techs haven't detected it. Well, let's keep it that way. 6th Street is chaotic enough on a weekend. So, do you have any idea of where to find him? Abe's asked around to some of the other bands and club owners, and he thinks... What the fuck is up with your ears? Kerr has a pair of gold hoop earrings that mysteriously appeared in his ears. What are you talking about? Gold looks good on you, Wonder Bread. Kerr touches his ears and screams. What the fuck? He quickly takes them out and throws them on the table. There is a long moment of silence. Now that Vanilla Bean here is done showing off the fall collection, can we get back to the task at hand? How do we find this demon-summoning groupie hoarder? Abe thinks he's found where Ezra is set up. An old buddy of his runs this little dive bar just outside of town, and it's been closed the last few weeks. A couple of bands told him that they saw the owner on the street, and he was acting strangely. Put two and two together, and yeah, it's pretty fucking flimsy. Flimsy or not, it's better than anything we have. Kerr spent the last week freelancing for leads, and Silky and I cleared out a hive last night, and he wasn't there. Well, unless Bo Derek here has any more accessories to model for us, Silky thinks we should go get this demon cocksucker. Austin traffic is a motherfucker at rush hour. Why don't y'all catch some sleep here and head out in a few hours? If yous and Rose want to put on some Barry White and get freaky-deaky, all yous gotta do is say so. Don't need to throw out excuses. Thanks, Thorne. We'll get some rest. Thorne calms down. You boys can have the living room, unless you want to share a bed with Abe in the back. The couch will be just fine. Silky gives him a motherfucker please look. For Silky, that floor looks mighty comfortable and too good to pass up. I'll toss you a pillow and a blanket so your bony ass don't break on the hard wood. Night, guys. Rose follows Thorne into the master bedroom. Kerr looked on, trying to steal a quick glimpse, but was met with a pillow to the head, flying from across the room. I have knives and deadly aim, in case you feelin' pervy. Gulp. Y'all sleep tight. 5. External dive bar, late afternoon. Silky, Kerr, and Rose are sitting in Silky's caddy, with Kerr in the back. Rose has several video feeds on her phone with no activity. Good Lord, what time is it? Yous ask that one more time, Silky is gonna go plant your ass in the ground and you can sundial that shit. It's damn near 7, and still nothing. Kerr leans forward and puts his hand on the front seat, and there is a loud noise as his 6-inch ruby-red nails clack down on the seat. Rose looks away from the monitor and at the nails. You think this is a wild goose chase? Kerr? I know you were bored, but what's with the fingernails there? What the fuck? Where did those come from? First earrings, and now those luscious nails? You trying to tell Silky you want to shake it on the corner for him? I swear, I have no idea what the hell is going on. I'm not doing anything, this stuff is just appearing. You ain't gotta be self-conscious. Silky don't judge. Kerr slumps back in his seat and tries to pull the nails off, but to no avail. Sit up and turn around. Why? Just fucking do it. Kerr complies, and Rose inspects the scratch on the back of his neck. It looks really infected. Ew. What? What did you get in a fight with last night? I told y'all, I don't know. It was some older lady who must have been possessed or something with the way she moved. When we get back to Thorne's, we gotta call Baptiste. First things first, we gotta get this Ezra mofo off the street before he does any real damage. Sorry, Kerr. We'll get to you. Don't you worry about that dainty doily. It'll be aight. Stay focused on the task at hand. Another half-hour passes in relative silence, until a loud snap comes from the back seat. Silky and Rose turn to inspect. Kerr is holding a broken nail in his hand. Looks like a broken nail. Silky and Rose sigh as they turn back around. Kerr inspects the broken nail before tossing it out the window. He then looks at his nail hand to see that the broken nail has been magically repaired. That could be useful. Hey, Rose, you have a nail file? Another half-hour passes with Kerr filing his nails down to a sharp point. He admires his new claws for a moment before Rose perks up. We got him. You sure it's him? If it's not, he has a doppelganger. 'Bout goddamn time. All right, let's wipe the floor with him, so Silky can go hit the clubs. The trio get out of the car and head up to the front door. Rose pulls out her metal baton and demon blade. Kerr stretches his claw hand, and Silky, in a form-fitting blue suit, has his 9-iron resting comfortably on his shoulder. 6. Internal dive bar, dusk. Silky kicks the door in and steps through, posing like the badass he is. Rose steps in to the left and Kerr to the right. There are half a dozen demons aside from Ezra in the room, with Ezra hanging out near the back. "All right, which one of you motherfuckers wants to die first?" Ezra, a late 20-something male demon who would look at home in the back of a gaming shop, being the DM of a D&D campaign, steps forward. "Who wants to know?" "Silky takes offense at your stupidity." Ezra connects the dots. "Ah, you must be the assholes who took out my hive last night. No matter. Those demons are a dime a dozen. Just means that more innocent lives are going to be lost thanks to your actions. My summoning powers are growing by the day, and there's nothing you can do that will stop me." "Well, you says that." Silky hits the button on his 9-iron to reveal the blade and throws it like an axe, embedding it in a demon's chest. Ezra is unfazed. "Just one more I get to replace." Ezra gets a big smile on his face and starts chanting in a foreign tongue. "Ecce tenebrae vocant copias producer zombie orcus. Ecce tenebrae vocant copias producer zombie orcus. Ecce." "Rose, what's he trying to summon?" "Don't know, but not gonna wait to find out." Rose lets out a scream and runs into battle with her baton and knife drawn. She draws 2 of the demons to the left side of the room. Kerr shrugs, also lets out a scream, and draws 2 demons to the right side of the room. There is a lone demon left in the middle of the room who looks at his friends who have abandoned him, then down at the dead demon at his feet. He looks at Silky, who smiles and gives the "come on" finger wave. Rose is having her way with the 2 demons who thought she was an easy mark. Both demons attempt to attack at once, which is met with a side swipe and a blade to the temple of one of the attackers. The demon gurgles some blood and collapses to the ground, disintegrating slowly. The remaining demon attempts a backhand claw grab, forcing Rose to go low and land a forceful blow to the back of the demon's knee. Rose uses her momentum to continue around the wounded demon and spinning completely around to land another blow with the baton to the side of the demon's head. She regains her composure, casually grabs the knife from the puddle of demon goo on the floor, and stabs the other demon in the back of the head. Kerr brandishes his claw hand, and it's greeted with laughter from the demons. "What are you gonna do? Scratch us to death?" The taunting demon steps forward, and Kerr jabs his fingernail claw deep into his heart, stunning him. Blood starts to pour out, and Kerr wrenches his hand violently to the side, breaking the nails off. The demon drops to his knees in pain, giving Kerr the opening to deliver a forceful front kick, driving the nails all the way into the heart. The demon falls back and stops moving. The other demon looks at Kerr and growls, prompting Kerr to reveal his claw hand ready to go again, with fresh nails. "Come on, big boy, get some." The demon lunges at Kerr, and he responds by doing a side swipe across the demon's face. Before the demon can attack again, the building starts to shake, giving the injured demon a chance to retreat. Silky's demon turns to inspect the noise. He never sees what it is as Silky casually snaps his neck as his back is turned. "Come on now, don't do Silky like that. Expecting a workout and not even getting a warm-up." Ezra finishes chanting and slams his hand down on the ground. The floor cracks open, and a giant hand emerges, grabbing the floorboards and pulling itself up. "Well, if you wanted a workout, here you go." Fuck me. A 7-foot-tall, 400-pound, muscle-bound zombie ogre emerges from the floor. Silky grabs his 9-iron. Rose gets by his side, and Kerr remains momentarily stunned at the sight. "Ideas?" "Silky gonna sweep the leg like he's Johnny Goddamn Lawrence. Once this big bitch is on the ground, Silky hopes that blade of yours works." Ezra slinks away into the back room, and the ogre blocks the way. "Well, come now. Silky's got shit to do." The ogre lumbers forward, and Silky sprints towards it. The ogre swings, and Silky drops to his knees and slides along the floor, using every bit of force he can to hit the ogre in the knee. This does little more than agitate the beast. The ogre turns and punches down towards Silky, who rolls out of the way, narrowly avoiding becoming tenderized. He dodges 2 more blows but runs out of momentum. Before the giant can hit Silky, Kerr comes in from out of nowhere, climbs up his back and starts jabbing his claw into the beast's neck. The ogre reaches back and tries to grab Kerr, who keeps breaking the nails off at such a rate that the giant is resembling a porcupine. Silky uses the distraction to pop the blade on his 9-iron and attack the creature from behind, slicing at the base of his legs. With a precisely placed strike, the zombie's Achilles are severed. Kerr leaps off as the ogre falls to the ground, prompting Rose to run in with the blade. She leaps in the air and comes down with every bit of force she can muster, embedding the blade into the back of its head. It stops moving, but doesn't dissolve. "Shouldn't this asshole be melting right now?" "I've never used it on a zombie ogre before. Not sure what's supposed to happen." Boils begin to rapidly form on the creature, some of them bursting and sending streams of pus through the air. Rose and Kerr look at each other and bolt for cover. A few more geysers of goo fly before the entire creature explodes, covering the walls in demon gunk. Everyone waits a moment before emerging from their hiding spot. "Silky is very glad he opted to keep his jacket in the car for this one." Rose and Kerr join Silky over the ogre puddle. "Let's go get this asshole before he summons something else." The trio take a step towards the back room when they hear Ezra scream in agony. They spring into action and burst into the back storage area. The same woman that attacked Kerr is standing with her back to the group. Upon closer inspection, Ezra's legs can be seen sticking out from beneath hers. "Holy shit, I think that's the woman who attacked me." "Takes a brave-ass cracker to admit getting his ass beat by a woman." Ahem. "Baby, Silky knows your balls are bigger than any man. Silky notwithstanding, of course." "Goddamn right." "What the fuck did you do to me, you bitch?" The woman stops messing with Ezra and turns around. She is holding his heart in one hand and his head like a bowling ball in the other. Her leopard print skirt and top are covered in demon blood, and her eyes glow yellow at the sight of Kerr. My protégé returns. You ready to come home with Mama so she can teach you a thing or two? Fucking hell, it's a WereCougar. What the hell is a WereCougar? It's what she is. Well, how do you kill her? Not a fucking clue. Silky has an idea. Silky pops the blade on the 9-iron and throws it across the room at neck level, like a spinning lawnmower blade. It has a direct hit on her neck and slices right through. The WereCougar drops the heart and the head before smiling. Her head rolls clean off her body and drops behind her, with the torso crumpling soon after. Silky extends his arms to the side in celebration, takes a step forward and spins back towards Rose and Kerr. "Whew! Silky done fucked that bitch up worse than menopause did." Rose and Kerr looked past Silky at the body of the WereCougar, which is slowly getting up. Silky?" "Not now, Vanilla Thunder. Can't you see Silky is strutting? Woohoo!" The WereCougar gets to its feet, turns and grabs her head off the ground, Rose pointing behind Silky. "Silky?" Silky starts doing some funk disco dance moves. "Silky ready to hit the club tonight, show off that jacket and attract those fine young ladies." The WereCougar reattaches her head. "That's probably for the best, since you don't have the skills to satisfy someone with a little more experience. Maybe those young girls won't mind that you underperform?" Silky turns and glares at the WereCougar. "Nah, baby, you got it all wrong. Silky was worried you were gonna hurt yourself, so went easy on you." "Uh-huh." Silky cracks his neck and prepares for battle. "Think you can handle round 2? "Oh, Now you're talking, big boy. Silky sprints towards her, and she runs to meet him in the middle. Silky throws a couple of haymakers that draws air, while she tries to scratch him in retaliation, but also draws air. She attempts to scratch his face with a horizontal strike, but Silky leans back and lands a kick to her midsection, driving her back. Rose and Kerr step up to help, spooking her. She screams, turns, and grabs the 9-iron, throwing it back towards the trio. Silky hits the deck while Rose and Kerr dive to either side. Rose wasn't quite quick enough as the blade tore into her bicep. The WereCougar used this distraction to climb to the top of the room and burst out a window, escaping into the night. Son of a whore! Silky walks over and sees a stream of blood coming from her arm, covering her clothes. Oh, quit your whining. Silky's seen you take worse hits. I don't care about the cut, but I liked this outfit. Kerr walks over. I bet your girlfriend Thorn has something you can borrow. Rose quickly punches out, giving Kerr a Charlie horse. He groans in pain. Yeah, the arm's fine. Come on, though. We gotta call Baptiste and figure out how to deal with a WereCougar. Silky helps her up, and they walk out. 7. Internal Thorn's house. Night. The trio walk in with Rose holding a bandage on her arm. Kerr has a crushed velvet leopard print top on to go along with earrings and some whorish makeup. Thorn comes running up. Oh my God, what happened? I got infected by a WereCougar. That sounds like white boy problems to me. Thorn shoves Kerr aside and goes to Rose. Baby, what happened? You okay? Yeah, I'll live. This WereCougar bitch got a jump on us, and I got nicked by Silky's 9-iron. Girl, you need to come with me so I can get you fixed up. It'll have to wait. We need to get the agency on the line, which is something your transgendered cracker can handle. To Kerr. Or do you need to spend some time staring in the mirror? Yous go get patched up. Silky will supervise while Nilla Wafer here takes care of business. Yeah, sure. Not like I'm having issues today or anything. Rose goes off with Thorn to the master bedroom, and Kerr starts setting up the laptop. Kerr is huffing and puffing due to the disrespect. Oh, what you bitchin' about? Silky knows lots of ladies that would scratch your eyes out for looking as good as you are. I really need to find a new line of work. Kerr types for a moment, and Baptiste comes on the line. He pauses for a moment when he sees Kerr. I would ask for a mission update, but I'm almost afraid to ask. As well as you should be. Have you eliminated Ezra? Yeah, he gone, but Cracker here has presented us with a complication. Rose can probably describe things better than I can. Let me go get her. Kerr gets up and goes to the master bedroom door. Silky continues to lounge on the couch and make small talk with Baptiste. So, brother, how are you liking things heading up the storage facility? Absolutely loving it, Silky. I don't have to engage in fisticuffs. I get to explore demonology, and with the constant stream of new recruits, I get to toss out the occasional yo mama joke. So, life is good. The artifact archive here is magnificent. Doesn't really sound like Silky's bag. I mean, other than the insults. But if it gets you there, more power to you. Thorn is stitching up Rose to close the wound. Baby, you gotta be more careful. This is a deep cut. Well, maybe you need to come back to the agency so you can start watching my back. I'm not sure I can work with Silky and resist the urge to murder that motherfucker in his sleep. Let me talk to the boss. I had my first solo mission recently, so maybe I can convince him to team us up. Thorn puts her hand gently on the back of her neck and looks into her eyes. Or you can quit the agency and come be with me. Lot less dangerous, even with the mosh pits. Rose takes Thorn's hand and caresses it. You know I'd love a life with you, but I'm doing a lot of good working with the agency. I've saved a lot of lives. And you've done your part. It's time to let others do theirs. Rose nods in agreement. You might be right, but I think Kerr is in trouble, and I owe it to him to do what I can to help. Once he's not in danger anymore, I kind of like the idea of being the bouncer at your shows. Thorn gets a large smile and leans in for a kiss. Shortly after their lips touch, Kerr speaks from the doorway. "Guess every rose has its thorn?" A knife flies rapidly and embeds in the doorframe with a thud, just inches from Kerr's head. "I'm gonna go now. When you're done, Baptiste is on the line." "Thought you had deadly aim. Don't tell me you're slipping." "You just said I'd get you as soon as that cracker is out of trouble. Didn't want to waste time on an ER visit." Rose laughs and embraces Thorn, who starts laughing too. "We better get in there." They get up and head to the living room. Kerr is on the couch beside Silky. Rose sits beside Kerr, and Thorn kneels down on the floor beside them.
"Miss Rose, it is good to see you. Hope you have been well."
"I have, Baptiste. Thank you for asking."
"And who is your friend there?"
"This is Thorn. She was with the agency before you came aboard. She's helping us out with this case."
"Nice to meet you, Thorn. The agency would like to thank you for your assistance in taking down Ezra."
"My pleasure."
"So, now that the pleasantries have been exchanged, let us get down to business. Rose, what do you have for me?"
"Late last night, as Kerr was pursuing leads, he was infected by what I believe to be a WereCougar."
"Are you certain?"
"Well, we just had an encounter with one. Silky was able to lop the bitch's head off, and it didn't do a whole lot to slow her down. She just picked it up and reattached it like she was putting on a hat. And over the past 24 hours, Kerr has been exhibiting symptoms."
"Such as?"
"Gaudy earrings appearing, 6-inch fingernails, and as you can see, crushed velvet leopard print attire appearing out of nowhere." Rose points to Kerr before looking at him, and he now possesses a set of double Ds. "God damn, them's a fine set of titties there." Kerr is dejected and just shakes his head. "I need a fucking drink." Kerr gets up and starts to walk to the kitchen. "Baptiste, how often have you seen—" Thorn is interrupted by Kerr tumbling to the ground. He tripped over his newfound stiletto heels. "That's 2. "I didn't say anything." "Don't matter. You interrupted me. That's 2. Kerr tries to get to his feet, but resembles a baby deer. He finally gives up and starts crawling on his hands and knees. He mutters obscenities to himself as he crawls. "As I was saying, how often have you seen a WereCougar infection?"
"They are exceedingly rare.
Baptiste hammers away at a keyboard.
In fact, there are only 2 known cases of a WereCougar encounter in the agency database. The first one was in the early 80s, and the last one was in the mid-90s.
"So, what do you know about them?"
"Well, they stalk their prey over a 3-day period on the 1st and 15th of every month."
"So, every 2 weeks?"
"No, always beginning on the 1st and 15th. We initially thought it was every 2 weeks, but the 90s attack happened over a 4-month period that started in January. Our team was caught off guard when March 1st rolled around, and one of them was infected on the first night of the hunt. As you've witnessed with Kerr, the transformation into WereCougar is a gradual one."
"How much time he got before we's need to get him a carton of Virginia Slims?"
"By the end of the 3rd night, he'll be fully transformed and under her control."
"Great, so we'll have 2 of them running around?"
"For a few hours at most."
Kerr staggers back into the living room, walking on the balls of his feet and carrying a beer. "What the fuck do you mean for a few hours at most? What happens after I turn?"
"For a lack of a better term, you'll progress rapidly from cougar to turkey vulture."
"What in God's name is a turkey vulture?" "Let old Silky break it down for you. See, a cougar is a vicious, unrelenting hunting machine that will pick a target and rip it to shreds in pursuit of its own selfish goals, which for most cougars means having a much younger man service them until the point of exhaustion. A cougar's prime, however, is typically a short one, given that old bitches ain't that durable. Once they lose a step or break a hip attempting a double deluxe with a couple of cubbies, they reach turkey vulture status." Long pause. "What the fuck does that even mean?" "It means that this time tomorrow you's gonna be lucky to pick up a middle-aged man wearing a fanny pack."
"I'm afraid it's worse than that. If the curse isn't broken by the end of the hunt tomorrow, then Kerr is going to rapidly turn into a turkey vulture, aging years in a matter of minutes. The aging process will continue at that pace until he is incapable of movement."
"So, if we don't kill this bitch tomorrow, then I'm going to die?"
"You'll only wish you were dead, unfortunately. For 6 days each month, you'll morph into the were-turkey vulture and have an overwhelming desire to gum someone to death. The rest of the time, you'll be in a near-vegetative state due to your extreme age.
Alright, so how do we find and kill this bitch?
The first part is easy, as she'll find you. Since you were cursed by her, she'll be drawn to you.
Thorn leaps up. I'll secure the door.
That won't be necessary, Thorn. If she was as injured as Rose said, she'll spend the rest of the evening hunting and feeding so that she can regain her strength. And she only hunts during the evening, so you'll be safe until tomorrow.
So, how do we kill her?
I wish I had an answer for you, Rose.
Silence falls over the group. Haha, that's a good one, Baptiste. But seriously, how do we kill her?
I'm sorry, Kerr, but it's a mystery. The WereCougar from the 80s just vanished from our radar, and the one from the 90s is locked up in storage. All the typical things that kill a were-creature, and demons in general, are ineffective. Silver, beheadings, demon blade. But in the spirit of full disclosure, our research team hasn't done much work on the issue since one hasn't been seen in over 25 years.
Well, this might be a good goddamn time to get them on it, don't you think?
Yes, Kerr. I will put a rush on it.
In the meantime, we'll brainstorm here and come up with a plan of attack.
Sounds good, Rose. We'll be in touch.
The screen goes dark. I'll put some coffee on. 8. Internal Thorn's house. Night. The group has taken a moment to gather themselves, gained some coffee, and are ready to begin their brainstorming session on how to kill the WereCougar. Okay, so we have a day to figure out how to kill a creature that the agency hasn't been able to kill in 30 years. So, let's get to it. We know what doesn't work, so let's start thinking outside the box. What do we know about cougars? Well, in my many hours of internet research, I've noticed a common theme. There is one thing that always seems to satisfy them, so maybe that can be her weakness. What is it? A BBC? A what? A big black cock. Rose, Kerr, and Thorn turn and look at Silky, who sits up from his relaxed position. As y'alls well knows, Silky is all about taking one for the team, especially when it involves getting a piece of trim. That being said, Silky has learned a very valuable lesson during his time with the ladies, which is you never, ever stick your dick in crazy. And based on what we've witnessed thus far, this bitch is crazier than a methed-up daytime stripper. So while Silky appreciates the request to deep-dick this whore to death, Silky is going to humbly decline. Thorn, you know anybody else who may be up to the task? Nobody I want to try and explain this shit to. Maybe we could just use a giant black dildo? While there is no substitute for the real thing, beating this demonic harlot to death with a big black dildo might be an option. All right, I'll add it to the list. Thorn, you have any idea where we can get a giant black dildo? Yeah, pretty sure Abe has one in his room. Rose, Kerr, and Silky give her an odd look. What? He never learned Silky's life lesson about sticking your dick in crazy. Hell, based on the noises that come out of that room, I'm leaning towards he likes the challenge. Finally, a cracker Silky can respect. All right, death by black dildo is on the list. What else can we possibly use against her? Don't older white women love white wine? Yeah, white Zin or Chardonnay. So, what you thinking? Forcing her to binge drink? I was thinking we drown her in it. Silky can get behind that. So which one do we get? Well, if she is a true cougar, then she'll have a few racks of the stuff. And if we can't find her house, then what? I guess before we can answer that, we need to figure out where we want to bait her into coming. I have my show tomorrow night. If the guys in the pit think I'm being threatened, they'll throw down. Given how powerful she is, I think we could use all the help we can get. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess the club y'all play at isn't known for their wine selection. Does Boone's Farm count? Maybe if we're trying to drown a sorority girl. I'll make a store run in the morning. Given your current appearance, I'll have Abe go get some stuff for you. He owes me some beer anyway. I appreciate it. Oh, I got one. What if we stab her with designer heels? Maybe in the heart?
Good one, girl. Given Cindy Crawford and her magically appearing cougar gear, we'll just borrow a pair when we get to the club. Well, what about... God damn it. Kerr stopped speaking when a lit cigarette appears in his mouth. He takes it out, looks at it, then tosses it in the nearly finished cup of coffee. As I was saying, why don't we... Another lit cigarette shows up. Maybe we set the hussy on fire with a Virginia Slim. Couldn't hurt to try. Oh, we could use a martini as an accelerant. Cougars like martinis, don't they? Silky does not condone the wasting of good alcohol. It's a dive bar. The only good stuff that will ever be drank in that place is bought in by a customer underneath their jacket. Silky withdraws his objection. I like it, but I was thinking I could gouge her eyes out with my nails. Not sure eye gouging is going to be enough. Yeah, but it'll make me feel better. Well, if yous feels it, lives it up, homie. Anybody got any other ideas? The room is silent. Okay, Kerr. It's your life on the line. If there's anything we can do, just name it. Well, I could use some help learning to walk in heels. God damn it, Honky. How difficult is heel toe, heel toe? You ever tried doing it with double fucking Ds? Silky pauses for a moment. Silky withdraws his taunt. I got you, Kerr. All right, y'all. It's late as hell. We need to get some rest. Tomorrow gonna be a beast of a day.
9. Internal Club, dusk. Silky and Rose are hanging by the bar of a dingy one-room club. Thorne is on stage with the rest of her band doing a sound check, and Abe is leaning on a speaker drinking a cheap beer and perusing a dirty magazine. So, yous really think any of that shit we came up with last night gonna work?
I honestly don't know, but we're gonna try every single one of them. We owe Kerr that much.
You know, Silky gives that cracker a lot of shit, but damned if he doesn't take it and keep on trucking. White bread deserve a better end than being a zombified turkey vulture.
You know, this has got me thinking. The life. And I don't know if I'm cut out for it anymore.
Aw, come on now, girl. Don't be talking like that.
I'm serious, Silky. Just in that last few months, I've nearly been sacrificed to a legendary demon, nearly involuntarily impregnated by an ancient vampire, and now I'm more than likely going to watch someone I fought beside be condemned to a fate worse than death. I mean, there has to be more to life than this, doesn't there?
Yous want to shack up with Thorne, don't you?
That is playing a part in this, but it's not the only reason.
Silky understands where you're coming from, and after we get through this situation, Silky will lend his ear and hear your concerns. We's got a deal?
Deal.
All right, so where is that cougar-licious motherfucker at?
He'll be in shortly. Last I saw, he was getting his nerve up in the car.
The two of them turn when they hear the front door open. Kerr is standing in the entryway and is completely cougarfied. His hair has changed into highly teased, dirty blonde. He has a full crushed velvet leopard print outfit that highlights his gigantic double Ds. He has a lit cig glued to his bottom lip, and is carrying an oversized purse that matches his gaudy outfit. God help the poor sucker that hits on that tonight. Kerr stomps the floor in his 5-inch stiletto heels, owning the floor as he walks over to the bar and sits a few seats down from Silky and Rose.
That was impressive.
Even old Silky will give that cat some props. If we's ever have to infiltrate a band of demon drag queens, that fierce bitch is taking point.
You just don't want to wear a dress.
This is true.
Kerr smacks the bar to get the attention of the bartender. The bartender finally turns around.
Yeah, what'll it be?
Martini, 2 olives.
It's happy hour, so it'll be $5.
Kerr reaches into his purse, but before he can pay, a douche frat boy named Jordan steps up.
Don't worry, baby. I got this for you.
He slides a 10 across the bar.
I'll take one too, barkeep. Coming right up.
So, baby, I'm Jordan. What's your... Let me stop you right there. Thank you for the drink, but I'm not interested.
Baby, you got me all wrong. I'm not looking to hit it and quit it.
I'm looking for something real.
then you are in the wrong fucking place. Oh, you got a bit of a dirty streak in you, don't you? I like that. Oh, you like dirty, huh? Okay. Kerr reaches into his bag and pulls out a giant 24-inch black dildo and slams it down on the bar. This is my friend the Violator. Over the years, he's seen some shit, both literally and figuratively. If you don't back the fuck up in the next 3 goddamn seconds, I'm going to bend you over the bar and use your asshole as a storage facility. Is that dirty enough for you? Jordan steps back from the bar. Barkeep, give both drinks to her. Jordan flees the club entirely. God damn, you's some sort of super cougar, ain't you? Well, if I'm going out tonight, I'm taking some assholes with me, even if it is just their self-esteem. The bartender sets the drinks down. Kerr grabs one and downs it in a single gulp. You might want to take it easy there, Kerr. I downed one of the bottles of white Zin we got before I came in here. Didn't faze me in the least. Apparently, in addition to everything else, I have the alcohol tolerance of a cougar as well. Wells, don't worry too much there, Vanilla Bean. Just be thankful there's one thing that bitch can't take from you. Kerr glares at Silky with a silent, screaming horror look on his face. Silky recognizes that Kerr is now a full-blown cougar, in every sense of the word. Silky is gonna go see if Abe has another magazine. Good call. Silky walks off. Don't worry, Kerr. We'll get you out of this. Glad at least one of us is optimistic. I am, Kerr, and I also have something for you. I don't think a good luck charm is gonna help. Rose slides a tracker across the bar to him. It's a tracker. If you really are turning into a WereCougar, then you might be the only one that can keep up with her if she bolts. Kerr picks it up and nods. Sorry, Rose, just a bit on edge. It's okay, Kerr, it's okay. She reaches over and pats him on the back for a brief, tender moment, before the coming chaos. 10. Internal Club Night. The club is filled with 20 concert-goers. Silky is standing by Abe flipping through dirty magazines. God damn, Silky wouldn't care if she crazy or not. Rose is standing by the front door, and Kerr continues to drink at the bar. Thorne takes the stage. What's up, Austin? We are Queen of the Demon Blade, and we are going to blow the roof off this motherfucker! Thorne's band kicks into high gear, rattling the glass in the skylight and getting the crowd amped up. As the moshers bang into each other, 6 demons walk through the front door, led by the demon that Kerr left a deep scratch on his face. Rose recognizes him as he walks by. She waits until they are past her before she signals to Thorne that there is trouble. Thorne takes notice and nods. 2 demons see Silky, who is still looking at the dirty magazine, and head his way. Scar and 2 other demons head towards the stage, and one stands close to the door. When the trio gets to the center of the room, Thorne takes action. Hey boys, looks like we have some newbies to the pit. Make 'em feel welcome. The mosh pit turns from random slamming into a spinning circle pit that entraps the trio. One of the demons gets spooked and tries to escape, but is knocked back by Thorne's fans. That's it, fellas. You keep 'em there until I give the word. Her fans continue to create a moving barricade. The demon by the door takes notice and tries to break through, but Rose sneaks up from behind and plants a knife in his back for a silent kill. Silky looks up from his magazine and sees 2 incoming demons. Yo, Abe, you want to take them out? Silky don't want to impose, given how this is yo territory and all. Abe sighs and puts down his magazine. He walks towards the 2. You better back up, old man. The demon loses his train of thought when Abe swings a bass guitar at his head. Demon teeth fly out and hit his partner, who is stunned. Before he can recover, Abe swings the bass down hard onto the top of his head, crumpling the demon to the ground. Abe swings a few more times to finish them both off, leaving their bodies a quivering mess on the floor. Abe casually drops the bass and walks back to Silky, who hands him a beer.
This ain't your first rodeo, is it, Whitebeard?
Nope. Silky smiles and gets back to his magazine. The trio of demons are still trapped in the circle pit. Scar is becoming more agitated, and as the first song ends, he exposes his true form, which barely phases the metal crowd. Before the second song begins, Kerr leaps over the human wall, gracefully slicing through a demon's neck as he lands. Kerr presents his bloody claw as the demon's head rolls off his body and over to Kerr's stiletto-heeled foot. He pelees it in the direction of Scar's demon underling, who isn't quick enough to react and catches it with his face. The underling hits the ground and is stunned. Scar growls. Scar points to Scar.
I owe you for this.
Scar lunges forward, and Kerr punches through Scar's chest, grabbing his heart and ripping it out through the other side of the torso. Everybody in the crowd steps back as Kerr poses with his trophy. Rather than simply pull out, Kerr digs his free hand into the wound and rips the demon in two, showering the crowd in blood and bone. The last remaining demon gets to his feet and tries to look fearsome, but nobody is buying it.
Really? I just ripped your boss in half and you want to face off with me?
The demon contemplates for a second before putting his guard down. Before Kerr has a chance to execute the creature, glass shatters from above, and the WereCougar lands on top of the demon, driving him into the ground. The WereCougar kicks him aside and looks at Kerr.
Well, well, looks like my cubby is all grown up, and Mama didn't even have a chance to play with him first. Such a tragedy.
The circle pit completely breaks apart with everyone getting to the edge of the room. Silky and Rose move towards the WereCougar with their weapons at the ready.
Somebody get me my purse.
A random metalhead walks the bag over to Kerr, who reaches in and pulls out the violator. The metalhead looks confused.
You can go now. Just put that behind the bar, will you?
He nods and runs off, not wanting to get in the middle of things.
Oh, that's a big one. You want to use that on little old me?
Kerr uses the dildo as nunchucks, whipping them around like an S&M Bruce Lee.
You can't handle what I'm about to dish out.
Oh, I love it when they get cocky.
The WereCougar rapidly moves towards Kerr, who counters by whipping the violator at her head, smacking the bridge of her nose with the tip. She staggers back, more surprised he landed the blow than affected by the pain. She gets a big grin on her face.
Playing rough, I see. Don't worry, baby. I like a little pain.
As the WereCougar begins another attack, she is distracted by sharp pains in her back from the impact of Thorn's knives. From the stage she threw a trio of them which easily found their target.
Then you'll love me then.
Thorn brandishes a couple of knives before throwing them at the WereCougar. She dodges them but is met with Silky's 9-iron in her gut. The impact forces her to double over, and Silky takes a position in front of her and gets ready to tee off.
Hope you don't mind if Silky finishes on your face.
Silky swings, but the club is caught by the WereCougar. Silky struggles to move the club upwards.
What's the matter, hon? Having trouble getting it up?
Bitch, Silky's gonna...
Kerr interrupts Silky by flying in and landing a blow to the WereCougar's face with a dildo uppercut. The WereCougar lets go of the club and staggers back. Kerr continues the assault, smacking her several more times in rapid succession. The WereCougar steadies herself and lunges forward with her claws outreached. Kerr counters by doing a 180-degree leap over her, securing the violator around her neck like a noose. He pulls back tightly while planting his feet at the top of her back for leverage. The WereCougar struggles for breath and thrashes wildly.
We need the wine, now!
The bartender races out from behind the bar, pushing a giant plastic tub filled with white wine across the floor. Kerr attempts to steer the WereCougar in that direction like a cowboy on a bucking bronco. When he's able to get her close, Silky swings his club and connects with the side of her knee, forcing her to tip over and dunk her head into the wine. Kerr keeps the pressure on and her head underneath the liquid. She thrashes violently as she struggles for air. After a few moments, her limbs become lifeless. Kerr lets go of the violator and steps back, all the while keeping his guard up. "Did we get her?" "Well, you's still a chick, so Silky wouldn't be celebrating just yet." Rose pulls out a cigarette along with a lighter and lights it up. She takes a long drag of it before grabbing a martini off a neighboring table and dunking the smoke in it, setting the drink on fire. "Maybe this will help." She throws the flaming liquid onto the WereCougar, and she is set ablaze. A few moments go by and she's still not moving. Thorn walks over to the group as her band and most of the metal fans have abandoned the building out of fear of being locked up as an accessory to murder. Thorn to Rose. "Looks like you did it, babe." "If she did, then why am I still like this?" "Silky, give her a good poke." "Did Silky not expressly say he wasn't sticking his dick in crazy?" "I meant with your golf club." "Silky getting a lot more info on y'all's sex life than he wanted." Silky approaches the flaming WereCougar and extends his club to test for signs of life. Before making contact, the WereCougar leaps up and screams, still ablaze. She picks up the plastic wine tub and dumps it on herself, extinguishing the flames. "So rude. Not only wasting good alcohol, but messing up my hair in the process." "Why the fuck won't you die?" "Now, baby, you know I'm just playing hard to get." She winks at Kerr before leaping up, pouncing off a set of floor speakers, grabbing the rafters and escaping through the broken skylight. "Oh no, you don't." Kerr follows, albeit a little clumsier as he's not accustomed to his newfound powers. He reaches the skylight and bolts out onto the roof. "Come on, I got a tracker on him." Rose, Thorn, and Silky run out the door to the van. "Abe, clean this shit up, will ya?"
"Yep."
11. Austin rooftops, night. The WereCougar races across the Austin skyline rooftops, with Kerr following closely. While she could easily outrace him and escape, she allows him to keep up, almost toying with him. She stands on the top of the flat roof and waits for him to join her. "My poor cubby, struggling to keep up with Mama. It's a shame you tire out so easily."
"Bitch, I'm just getting started."
Kerr springs forth and catches her off guard, landing a flying knee into her chest, which knocks her off the roof onto the rooftop patio of a nightclub just below them. She crashes into a table, sending drinks and patrons flying in the process. Kerr stands at the edge of the roof and looks down at her.
"How'd you like that?"
The WereCougar smiled and popped up, running through the crowd before leaping off the rooftop and into a nearby condo patio. She turned and motioned for him to follow before opening the door and walking in.
"Rose, I hope you aren't far behind."
Kerr leaps down to the patio bar, then over to the condo. He cautiously follows her inside. 12. WereCougar apartment, night. Kerr enters the condo and looks around for her in the giant open space. The loft apartment in downtown Austin must have cost a pretty penny. Kerr turns when he hears her in the kitchen area. She emerges carrying a glass of white wine.
"Well, well, looks like I finally have you in my posh condo. Unfortunately, given your current state, it's likely the only thing of mine you are going to be able to get into."
"I may not have a lot of time left, but I guarantee that you are going to wish I had a lot less when I'm done with you."
"Honey, please. You already drowned me, beat me, and set me on fire. What else do you possibly think you are going to be able to do to me before becoming my slave?"
"Slave? I thought I was going to wither up and wish I was dead."
"Well, that last part is true. But a good mama knows how to take care of her cubbies. Why do you think I went to the trouble of getting you here alone?"
"Frankly, I don't want to know what you had planned for me, but you should be aware that I'm not alone."
Kerr pulls out the tracker from between his double Ds. He smiles as Silky kicks in the front door, As the trio bursts in, the WereCougar is distracted, which gives Kerr a chance to execute a flying dropkick. The force of the kick drives the tip of the stiletto into the WereCougar's heart, prompting a scream.
"Batter up, bitch!"
Silk immediately responds by swinging his golf club as hard as he can, driving the heel as deep as it will go into her heart. The WereCougar is totally unaffected, as she rips it out and tosses it aside before engaging Silky in battle. Silky uses his 9-iron to parry her punches, knocking them aside. The WereCougar changes her strategy and opts for overhand claw strikes, forcing Silky to slide back to avoid them. She mixes up her blows and throws a haymaker, which Silky dodges by thrusting his golf club upwards, catching her forearm and knocking it up. Silky spins and ducks, attempting to sweep her leg, but she leaps up and lands a kick to Silky's face, sending him sliding back. Rose runs up next and swings her baton at her head. The WereCougar takes the face shot and doesn't bat an eye. She grabs Rose by the throat and throws her across the room, where she crashes into an end table. Letters and papers fly into the air. Thorn stepped up after her woman was knocked out of the fight.
"All right, cuntwagon. You can beat on the boys all you want, but you just messed with the wrong..."
Before she can finish, she is knocked to the ground by a cheap shot from the side. She looks up, and Kerr is the culprit, and he's completely under the control of the WereCougar.
"You were saying, honey?"
Thorn gets herself up off the ground, exposes 2 blades pulled from a hidden sheath on her back, and stares Kerr down.
"That's 3, motherfucker!"
She throws both knives simultaneously, which land in Kerr's shoulders. During his brief moment of shock from the pain, Thorn rushes him and turns into a flyweight boxer, landing a rapid succession of body blows and headshots. After a 10-second sustained attack, Kerr slumps to the ground. She turns her attention back to the WereCougar.
"All right, you fossilized cock gobbler. Where were we?"
The WereCougar runs at Thorn, who rips a knife from Kerr's shoulder and throws it at her. The WereCougar slides underneath it and pops back up to her feet in time to attack Thorn. The WereCougar lands a punch to Thorn's chest, putting her on the defensive. Thorn attempts to fight back, throwing half-powered punches that the WereCougar dodges. After having her fill of toying with her opponent, the WereCougar grabs one of Thorn's punches, wrenches her fist upwards, and using the torque of the wrist to force Thorn to her knees. Rose is still in a bit of a daze and looks around the room to get her bearings. Silky is attempting to stagger to his feet. Kerr is knocked out cold from Thorn's assault, and Thorn is about to be ended by the WereCougar. Rose attempts to get up but is unable to, slipping on the papers that scattered when the table was knocked over. As she catches herself, she looks straight down and sees a personal check for $8,000 hiding underneath a letter. She quickly grabbed it and looks at the memo, and it reads alimony payment.
"Motherfucker. The 1st and the 15th.
Rose quickly pulls out her lighter. As she flicks the lighter open, the WereCougar takes notice. Her eyes get huge as she realizes what is about to happen. She drops Thorn and runs towards Rose.
"Your sugar daddy's gone, bitch."
Rose touches flame to paper, and as the fire moves over the check, flames engulf the WereCougar like she's spontaneously combusting. She gets within 3 steps of Rose before being reduced entirely to ash. She breathes a sigh of relief before picking herself up and running over to Thorn.
"Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine, girl. What the fuck did you do to her?"
"I burned her alimony check."
"God damn, girl, that cold."
"Hey, fuck her. She can burn."
Kerr begins to stir, looking more like himself.
"Is it over?" "Well, yous ain't got bitch tits anymore, so Silky gonna say yeah."
Kerr begins to feel around his body, noticing that the hair and earrings are gone, as well as the double Ds. He reaches down to his crotch.
Oh please. Thank fucking Christ. The boys are back in town."
He then winces in pain from the stab wounds in his shoulders. Kerr to Thorn.
"And you fucking stabbed me." "Don't go blaming me for your inability to follow simple instructions. You were warned there would be consequences if you interrupted me 3 times. But you fucking stabbed me. How is that an appropriate response to interruption? If you think that's bad, just imagine what's going to happen next time. I'll be good. Rose's phone begins to ring. She reaches down and grabs it, checking the caller ID before answering. Rose pauses before answering. Well, who is it? Rose looks over to Silky. It's the boss. Oh, hell. This can't be good. 13. Agency Storage Facility. On-screen text 30 minutes earlier. A mysterious man, the phaser, stands at the edge of the storage facility grounds. He is a thin, wiry man with brown hair, and a surprising amount of muscle tone for such a build. He's dressed in all black and peers through binoculars to take stock of the situation. As he looks, his phone vibrates, prompting him to touch his ear to trigger an earbud. Go for the phaser.
Your contact, Ezra, has been killed.
Then who the hell is going to pay me for this heist?
He put 5,000 in an escrow account to get this job moving. It's yours, minus my fee, of course.
Are you fucking kidding me? 5K, that's it? Do you have any idea how much research I had to do for this job? There's a reason I asked for 50 to pull it off.
This is none of my concern. You knew what the deal was when you signed up.
Well, I'm on site already. Surely there has to be some useful stuff in that storage room.
Perhaps.
If I can get my hands on some stuff, can you move it for me?
Long silence. I can't guarantee you I can move it or what prices I can get, but I will make calls on your behalf.
And reduce your fee for my troubles?
Long silence. 15% on final sale price. 20 if you wish for my people to handle delivery.
Consider it a deal. I'll be in touch after the heist. The phaser clicks off the earbuds and heads towards the wall of the facility. It's a solid wall, and he stretches against it like he's prepping to run a 5K. Once he's limber, he presses his right thumb against the inside of his right index finger and becomes engulfed in a digital translucent static. The phaser then casually steps through the solid wall, phasing through it like the wall wasn't there. He emerges on the other side, looking quickly to both sides before unphasing. He then presses down on his left temple, which activates a heads-up map display in his eye. Upon closer inspection, his left eye is a fake digital one. The map plots a course through the infield of the storage facility, between a small fleet of trucks and storage containers. As the phaser moves swiftly through the yard, he hears noise coming from an approaching guard. He phases again before diving into a storage unit and unphasing. He waits a few moments before sticking his head through the wall to make sure the coast is clear. Once it is, he leaps out and continues on his path. Eventually he makes his way to the storage facility wall. It's several feet of reinforced steel and concrete, which is no match for the phaser's power. He takes a few steps back to get a running start, pressing the trigger at the exact right moment and running through the wall at full speed. As soon as he gets inside, he unphases, runs across a hallway and slides underneath a guard post while phasing, so he goes right through a vault wall. The security guard looks around, but doesn't see anything, so he shrugs and goes back to his book. The phaser is now in the vault, and it's filled with a wide variety of demon artifacts. He walks through the aisles, putting random things in his backpack, mostly smaller items so that he can maximize his score. There aren't labels on the items, so he figures it's better to have a lot of items to sell, as opposed to a few large ones that may not be worth much. Once his backpack is nearly full, he takes notice of an egg-shaped item, roughly the size of a football, sitting alone on a pedestal. This intrigues him, as it looks different from everything else. Well, well, what do we have here? What are you doing all by yourself? The phaser looks closely at it and doesn't see any obvious signs of an alarm or trap. He shrugs and grabs the item,
which is immediately met with a metal arm trap that clamps down on his forearm and triggers an alarm. Damn it! The phaser grabs onto the egg tightly before triggering the phasing, which allows him to remove his arm as well as the egg. Knowing his time alone is short, he unphases, drops the egg in the bag and turns to leave. He's greeted by Baptiste and half a dozen armed guards. I don't know who you are, but you are in a whole lot of trouble. With most people, I'm sure you're right, but I'm not most people. The phaser winks at Baptiste just as he gives the signal to fire. The first bullet reaches him just as he phases, and it passes harmlessly through him. Phaser sprints through Baptiste and the firing line, running right past the initial guard that missed him and through the wall to the outside. Baptiste into walkie-talkie. Code Red! Code Red! The intruder is escaping via the grounds! Guards on the outside are scrambling, but the phaser just runs straight through the trucks and storage units. Due to the confusion and the darkness, he's able to escape the grounds and get a good 20 yards away from the facility before he unphases. His heads-up display gives the warning of low power. Man, that was close. Maybe next place I steal from will have some stronger batteries. The phaser casually walks off into the darkness, as the facility is a hive of activity, searching in vain for the robber. 14. Storage Facility, Night. The boss walks into the vault where Baptiste is doing inventory. How bad is it, Baptiste? It's bad. They got some lesser artifacts, but they also got the Egg of Orion. Motherfucker. How the hell did he get in here? He had some advanced technology that allowed him to phase in and out of reality. He literally ran right through us and the walls. We're going to need all hands on deck for this one. Who's close? Rutger is on site, not sure where Nance and TNT are. Silky, Rose, and Kerr are in Austin with some former agency asset named Thorn. First bit of luck we've had today. Give me a phone. Baptiste hands over his phone right after speed dialing Rose. Rose, it's the boss.
Boss, don't worry, we have everything under control with the WereCougar.
That's good to hear, but not why I'm calling. The storage facility vault was just hit.
Oh my god, how bad?
We don't know the full extent yet, but we do know they got the Egg of Orion.
Holy fuck.
Understatement of the year, my dear. It's an all-hands-on-deck situation. I need all of you to get to the storage facility as quickly as you can.
Of course.
And Baptiste tells me that you have Thorn with you. Please explain the significance of the situation and persuade her to help.
You got it, boss. See you soon.
The boss hangs up the phone and tosses it to Baptiste. Put the word out to every contact you have ever made. Finding whoever took the Egg of Orion is the agency's top priority. The end.